Hey y'all, my name is Kristen, KP, I'm 33 years old, from St. Louis, Missouri. Born and raised, actually, my family's from Kinloch. I grew up in Florissant, went to Barrington Elementary, Armstrong Elementary, I went to Hazel Junior High. I played varsity basketball all 4 years, Hazel Central. I played AAU basketball. I'm talking about the greatest of the greatest. I traveled the world. I played against the elite of the elite, but over there, I'm homeless. Hold this sign. It all started off, I got in a car accident about 2012. Me and my soulmate, she's dead now. She died of an opiate addiction. And my doctor, I'm a big product of Big Pharma. So that's very real. I started out doing nothing but playing basketball. I didn't even smoke weed, man. I started smoking weed when I was like 18. But then my doctor wrote me a prescription for Percocets. And my body became addicted to them. So as a result of that, I lost my car, my apartment, my soulmate, everything. Now, by the grace of God, I actually have an appointment for the methadone clinic on April the 2nd, trying to get my life back together. But I wanted to actually reach out and do this video to let everybody know that this stuff is real. And when you see somebody on the corner asking for money, it's not always for drugs. We're hungry. We have a story to tell. You probably would never look at me and know that I've done nothing all my life but play basketball. I really was never a person that did drugs. So I just wanted to reach out and let everybody know, don't judge everything that you see. You know, I appreciate my partner here stopping and doing this video. Other than that, do you have any other questions?
What kind of household did you come from?
Actually, I came from a household, a loving family, mother, father. I have an older sister. Everybody looks at my house and they say I didn't want for shit. But looking at the outside of your household doesn't represent the inside of your household. And there's a lot of things that people don't know and that are swept under the rug. But I've lived in vacant houses. I've lived in a house with no water, no gas, no electric. Just don't look at what you see on the outside and think that represents what you see on the inside. You know what I'm saying? I've actually gotten more love out here, I would say, than I've actually gotten inside of my house at different times.
What about your siblings?
So I have an older sister, her name's Lauren. She's 4 years older than me. I'm like the black sheep. Nobody in my family's ever been to jail, they never done drugs, never smoked weed or anything. Me and my sister, we have a pretty cool relationship. She actually is a boxer. She lives in Illinois, her and my mother. But really, as far as on this side of the water, it's just me and my father. He lives actually down the street in Florissant. But we are from Kinloch, and I tend to roam the Berkeley, Kinloch area. So, yeah.
What did they instill in you growing up? What can you remember childhood memories?
Work for what you want. Work for what you want. And I kind of struggle with that. I have a bad habit of not following through or not finishing through. That's something that, and I'm hard-headed as well. But people say that God doesn't put anything on you can't handle, and He puts His warriors through the most trying battles. So I guess I'm one of those warriors because I've been to hell and back, hell and back, hell and back. And I'm going to continue to fight through hell. You know what I'm saying? It's hard living out here when it's raining, it's cold. You learn some things. You learn how to actually survive. So, yeah.
Did you go to church growing up?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you asked that. There's a church on the corner of Martin Luther King and Hanley. It's called Devotional Baptist Church. Reverend Irby Bledsoe, that is my grandmother's, my dad's mother's father. Her brother. He just passed last year. So my father's brother, Stephen Bledsoe, he is now, Stephen Peebles, he is now the reverend there. But yeah, you can find it on the corner of Martin Luther King and Hanley. I actually was baptized there when I was 7. They tricked me. I will never forget that. Y'all tricked me into getting baptized, but my family has a very strong religious background. What's what I'm looking for. Their spirituality is strong. I don't really have that. I struggle with that. I still try to connect with God. I talk to Him, but I don't necessarily. Maybe I'm not looking for the right signs. But everybody else, the relationship with God is great, apparently.
What kind of student were you growing up?
I guess I was an AB student. Not the best in math, but I still like chemistry. I'm a very, very good reader. It's crazy because the reflection of where I am now versus where I was in school, couldn't put two and two together. I didn't really struggle. I thought I had ADHD when I was 17, but still as a student, I excelled. I think I got like a 19 on the ACT my first time, so don't know, you would never think that, if you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be where I am now, I would have cursed you clean out. But I'm humbled by it.
What's the plan?
The plan right now
moving
is
forward?
go to the methadone clinic. You know, they're gonna help me with some tools to help me with my opiate addiction. I have chronic pain, I have nerve damage. As long as I go there every day, I get my medication. I've now got my birth certificate, my ID, and I'm looking for jobs. So if anybody sees me on the street, I'm not a felon. Just let me know of any jobs or anything, and don't be afraid to speak. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.
How has your faith been tested, as opposed to how do you remain sane in these troubled times?
My faith gets tested every day. I guess I don't even realize that my faith comes through for me all the time, because there's so many times throughout the day where I want to snap. I want to snap because I feel like I'm trying, and nothing ever bends or breaks for me. But I guess it's, without me thinking about it, that's God's way of being there for me. Because I should be dead. I should be dead.
Why do you say that?
I've gotten hit in the mouth with a pistol. I've gotten hit with a 4-way in the back of my head. I've gotten robbed at gunpoint. I mean, there's multiple things where most people would not make it through those situations, and don't even see them coming. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. I'm still walking, and it's not a result of me doing anything to anyone. It's just people trying me. So, yeah, I guess I'm a cat.
How do you stay safe out here on the streets? Like, what are the survival tactics that you've adapted over your period of time out here?
Well, I definitely say, you know, that quote, don't where you eat. If we don't do that, don't do anything to someone that you don't want done to you. The people that I surround myself around, or that I am forced to surround myself with, we bump heads, but we don't do anything to each other. We don't steal from each other. We don't take from each other. We try to look out for one another. So I would definitely say that's one of the things. You don't do something to someone that you don't want done to you, because you don't want to look over your shoulder every 5 seconds where you are. You know, that's very important.
Try to keep your karma clear.
Karma is very real, very real.
What are some of the things that your dad has instilled in you?
Again, my dad is still to work for what I want. Don't depend on anyone. And I really have to depend on myself. And that's something, again, that I'm working on. He has went to work every day of his life for his family. And I love him for that. Love you, Daddy. He worked for actually the Fleet Gas for 30 years. He worked for John Douglas. He actually works for the government right now, for the VA. He gets up every day, whether he's in pain, whether he doesn't feel like it. He gets up and he goes and makes it happen every day. So that is something that I still have to try to live by, because I don't want to hand out for somebody. I really don't. Right now, I'm just in a situation. So hopefully sooner than later, I'll be able to make my own money and be able to feed myself on my own.
What does your sign say?
This actually is a sign that I normally don't use, but it just says, "Homeless, please help. Thanks, God bless." Normally a sign of my own. We say homeless woman, living outside. Any donations are appreciated. God bless, and much gratitude, much love.
How do you pick where you're going to go and post up with your sign? Like, what determines that?
Usually, like here in Berkeley, you're not really allowed to do this. This is illegal. I would usually go to the edge of the highway, down the street, like in Hazelwood, somewhere where it's actually legal to do so. Panhandling is not legal in every jurisdiction. Actually, in St. Charles, you can panhandle. You can stand in front of a store. You can do all those things. But here, you kind of got to be careful where you pick and choose to do things, depending on how the police treat you. Because for real, they could arrest me for standing there. So I kind of have to be careful.
What do they determine as panhandling? Like, is that a kind of slippery slope?
It's a slippery slope, depending on who the person is. Because panhandling could be standing from a store asking for money. Panhandling could be holding a sign. We call this flying a sign. Flying a sign.
Okay.
So, but to them, panhandling could be. I don't walk into people's cars. I just stand there, and if you provide me with a donation, that's cool. I'll thank you. And if you don't, I'll thank you anyway. So yeah, you just have to be careful where you are and if they like you or not.
If you could speak with the young Miss KP, going back in time, having a Back to the Future moment, knowing what you know today, what would you tell her?
Never say never, and humble yourself, and don't take things for granted. Looking back, there were so many things that I was provided as a child. Where I didn't want to listen, I could have went anywhere and played D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA basketball. In fact, I'm going to start volunteer coaching. I have like 20 some years of basketball experience, and I still got it. But right now I could be playing overseas somewhere. I could be playing WBA. I just wouldn't have taken things for granted, and I wouldn't have rebelled. I wanted a break from basketball, and as a result of that, it led me on the path I am today. But I could be living freely. I could not really want for anything, but I can't also change it for anything in the world because it's led me to meet some of the people I've met today. So it's glass half empty.
So in closing, if you want to say anything to anybody who may be looking for you, wondering if you're okay and worried about you, now's the time to say whatever.
Anybody who's looking for me, I love you, and I apologize for making you worry. I'm right here in good old North County. I tend to be in Berkeley, Missouri. Sometimes I'm in Florissant, but if you're really looking for me, you can find me in the Frost Avenue area. And if people don't know my name, you can say, have you seen KP? And there's not really anyone that doesn't know who I am. As it turns out, love you guys, and if you guys have any questions, you guys can give them.
Thank you, Miss KP.
No problem.